Cyber Threat Brief for April 4, 2026. Team PCP supply chain campaign hits European Commission AWS infrastructure with 340 GB data theft via compromised Trivy scanner. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, KEV, known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, deadline April 9. North Korean UNC 1069, socially engineered Axios, maintainer through fake Microsoft Teams call. Deploying Trojan that stole NPM credentials used to publish malware reaching 100 million weekly downloads. Die-Link German political party confirms Killen ransomware data theft, with BQT-Lock threatening Metro Hospital USA over 3 TB medical records and Sonic Wall VPN access. Here's the full breakdown of today's top security stories. Daily Security Brief April 4, 2026. Next section, Critical Alerts. Team PCP Supply Chain Campaign. European Commission Cloud Breach. CVE 2026-33634. CertEU confirmed the European Commission's Europa web hosting platform on AWS was breached through the Trivy supply chain compromise. Initial access occurred March 19, with AWS API key theft. Detection took 5 days, March 24, with 340 gigabytes uncompressed data, 91. 7 gigabytes compressed, exfiltrated including 52,000 email files from 42 internal commission departments and 29 other EU entities. Shiny Hunters published the data on their dark web leak site March 28. The breach demonstrates high-value credential usage with no lateral movement detected. CVE 2026-33634 has EPSS, the Exploit Prediction Scoring System, score 0.212, 96th percentile, and is on CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, KEV, known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, with deadline April 9, 2026. Action: organizations using Trivy Scanner should review CertEU advisory for exposure indicators. Rotate AWS credentials potentially exposed through Trivy compromise. CIS, a KEV deadline April 9, requires federal agencies to patch by that date. The 5-day dwell time shows credential usage is active against high-value targets. Sources: SANS ISC data breaches. Net. Sentinel-1 blocks light LLM supply chain attack. CVE 2026-5281. Sentinel-1 AI EDR stopped Trojanized light LLM versions hours after compromise using behavioral detection. Attackers obtained PyPy credentials to publish malicious packages deploying cross-platform payloads. An AI coding assistant with unrestricted permissions installed the infected package. Malware attempted obfuscated Python execution, data stealing, persistence, Kubernetes lateral movement, and encrypted data exfiltration. Platform terminated process chain in under 44 seconds. CVE 2026-5281 has CIS a KEV deadline April 15, 2026. EPSS 0.30, 87th percentile. Action: federal agencies must patch by April 15 per CIS a KEV. Review PyPy package installations from March 2026. Check for light LLM versions installed by automated systems including AI agents. Behavioral EDR stopped this attack without signatures, demonstrating need for runtime protection. Source: Sentinel-1 blog. Axios NPM supply chain attack via social engineering North Korean UNC 1069, socially engineered Axios maintainer through fake company founder, clone Slack workspace, and fake Microsoft Teams meeting. A maintainer joined fake call, error message prompted system update, deploying remote access Trojan. Attackers stole NPM credentials, published Trojanized Axios versions 1.14.1 and 0.30.4 with Waveshaper. V2 implant via hidden email protected dependency. Malicious versions available 3 hours, reaching 100 million weekly download base. Post-install script downloads platform-specific malware for Mac OS, Windows, Linux. Windows variant establishes persistence via registry. Silent Siphon Stealer captured credentials from browsers, password managers, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, NPM, Yarn, Pip, RubyGems, Cargo, NuGet. Action: downgrade Axios immediately to version 1.14.0 or 0.30.3. Rotate all credentials on systems that downloaded versions 1.14.1 or 0.30.4. Search for email protected in package lock. JSON files. Review systems for connections to command and control 142.11.206.73 or domain sfrclack.com. Block IOCs. SHA-256, a hash indicator. See show notes for details. Setup, JS, sources, the Hacker News Sentinel-1 blog, Talos blog. Next section, ransomware claims, last 48H. Group victim sector country BQT Lock Metro Hospital USA Healthcare USA Killen Die Link Government / Political Germany, 2 claims tracked from 2 groups in the last 48 hours. These are unverified claims from ransomware leak sites, not confirmed breaches. Next section, Ransomware and Extortion. Die Link German political party confirms Killen data theft. Die Link, left party, confirmed Killen ransomware stole data from internal party organization and employee personal information following March 26 network compromise. The party has 64 Bundestag members and 123,000 registered members. Membership database was not impacted. Killen publicly claimed the attack April 1 on their leak site without publishing data samples. Die Link describes Killen as Russian-speaking, financially and politically motivated cybercriminals, stating the attack does not appear to be coincidental. The party filed criminal complaint with German police and is working with independent IT experts for restoration. Action: German entities should review security for politically sensitive systems. Killen uses data publication threats to coerce ransom payment. No member database access limits exposure, but internal party communications and employee data are at risk. Source: Bleeping Computer. University of Mississippi Medical Center ransomware impact, February 2026 ransomware attack took Epic EHR offline across 35 clinics and 200-plus telehealth sites, forcing cancellation of chemotherapy appointments and postponement of non-emergency surgeries. Staff reverted to paper workflows. Healthcare organizations experienced 93% attack rate in 2025, with 72% reporting incidents that disrupted patient care directly. Bridge Pay Payment Processor suffered February 2026 attack, taking APIs, virtual terminals, payment pages offline. Publicly disclosed ransomware attacks surged 49% year-over-year in 2025 to 1,174 confirmed incidents. Source: Bleeping Computer. Apex, NC Data Recovery via Court Order. Town of Apex in North Carolina recovered stolen data from July 2024 attempted ransomware attack after Wake County Superior Court issued October 2024 restraining order compelling BubbleUp, Inc. to provide full access. Approximately 22,000 residents' data had never appeared on dark web. Threat actors stored data on US-based BubbleUp servers. Exposed data types include name, SSN, driver's license, passport, financial accounts, credit/debit cards, email, username/password, DOB, health insurance, medical conditions/treatment, medical record numbers, patient account numbers, telephone numbers. Data stored on US servers subject to court jurisdiction enabled recovery. Questions remain about whether threat actors maintained other copies. Source: Data Breaches. Net. Baker Hostetler 2026 Data Breach Report Findings. Law firm represented 1,250 breach clients in 2025, 27% healthcare, 18% finance/insurance, 15% business/professional services. Average initial ransom demand spiked 70% to $4.2 million. Average payment up 36% to $682,702. Healthcare sector averaged $18.2 million initial demands, 6 times other sectors, highest single demand $98 million. Healthcare victims paid average $1.2 million, highest $5 million. Payment motivation flipped. 2025 saw 43% pay primarily to prevent data publication vs 31% for decryptor, reversing 2024 trend. Class action lawsuits filed in 14% of incidents, up from 9% in 2024. Phishing remained top cause at 30%. Vendors responsible for 25% of incidents. Faster forensics reduced notification time by 3 days. Source: Data Breaches. Net. Hasbro confirms cyber attack. Weeks to recover. Hasbro detected March 28 intrusion, took down systems, estimates several weeks for recovery per SEC disclosure April 3. Company owns Transformers, Peppa Pig, Dungeons & Dragons properties. Attack type and attribution not disclosed. No ransomware group has claimed responsibility as of April 3. Source: Data Breaches. Net. Next section, IOCs and Detection. Axios NPM supply chain attack. IP 142.11.206.73 C2 server, domain sfrclack.com, SHA-256 setup. JS, a hash indicator. See show notes for details. SHA-256 Linux, a hash indicator. See show notes for details. SHA-256 Windows, a hash indicator. See show notes for details. SHA-256 Mac OS, a hash indicator. See show notes for details. SHA-256 6,202,033. PS1, a hash indicator. See show notes for details. Package, email protected, malicious dependency. Axios malicious versions. 1.14.1, 0.30.4. Confidence. High confirmed supply chain attack attributed to UNC 1069. Team PCP supply chain. CVE 2026-33634. Trivi compromise. Clam AV signatures. TXT. Trojan. Team PCP 10,059,839-0. Next section, business and infrastructure threats. Team PCP campaign. Sportradar AG breach confirmed. Vessert confirmed. Sportradar AG, $4.98 billion Swiss sports technology company. Systemic compromise, jointly operated by Team PCP and Vect ransomware via Trivi supply chain. CVE 2026-33634. Data exposed. 26,000 users' personal information, 23,169 athlete records, names, job, gender, nationality, 161 client organizations including ESPN, Nike, NBA Asia, IMG Arena, 8 production RDS passwords, 328 platform API key/secret pairs, Kafka SASL credentials, New Relic monitoring tokens. Action: organizations with Trivi exposure should audit AWS accounts, RDS credentials, API keys. Sportradar breach confirms credential exposure leads to comprehensive infrastructure compromise including production databases, message queues, monitoring systems. Source: SANS-ISC. Supply chain attacks. 25% of top 100 vulnerabilities. Cisco, Talos 2025 year in review reports, nearly 25% of top 100 targeted vulnerabilities affect widely used frameworks and libraries. React 2 Shell, React Server Components vulnerability, became top targeted vulnerability of 2025 despite December disclosure. Log4j vulnerabilities persist, showing deeply embedded utilities create difficult to reduce attack surface. Supply chain attacks enable downstream impacts from ransomware to espionage by state-sponsored groups and teenage cybercriminals. Action: inventory software libraries and frameworks in use. Monitor security incidents, implement rapid patching. Security fundamentals, segmentation, logging, MFA, multi-factor authentication, emergency response plans remain effective. Secure CI/CD pipelines limit lateral movement after credential exposure. Source: Talos blog. Third-party risk. 30% of breaches. Verizon 2025 DBER found third parties involved in 30% of breaches. IBM 2025 Cost of Data Breach Report puts average remediation cost at $4.91 million for third-party breaches. Global TPRM spending projected to grow from $8.3 billion 2024 to $18.7 billion 2030. Regulatory frameworks, CMMC, NIS2, DORA, require demonstrable, ongoing oversight of third-party controls. Cyber insurers scrutinize supply chain hygiene before writing policies. Action: treat vendor oversight as governance function on par with incident response. Move from annual questionnaires to ongoing monitoring. TPRM is managed service opportunity for MSPS/MSSP with structured workflows. Source: The Hacker News. Cookie-controlled PHP web shells persist via cron. Microsoft reports threat actors using HTTP cookies as control channel for PHP-based web shells on Linux servers. Web shells rely on $cookie superglobal variable for threat actor-supplied cookie values that gate execution and pass instructions. Cookies blend into normal web traffic, reduce visibility. Threat actors obtain initial access via valid credentials or known vulnerabilities. Establish cron job invoking shell routine to execute obfuscated PHP loader. Self-healing architecture recreates PHP loader via scheduled task even after removal. PHP loader remains inactive during normal traffic, activates on specific cookie values. Action: enforce MFA for hosting control panels, SSH, administrative interfaces. Monitor unusual login activity. Restrict shell interpreter execution. Audit cron jobs and scheduled tasks across web servers. Check suspicious file creation in web directories. Limit hosting control panel shell capabilities. Source: The Hacker News. LinkedIn scans for 6,000+ Chrome extensions. BrowserGate report claims LinkedIn uses hidden JavaScript to scan visitors' browsers for 6,236+ installed extensions. Collect device data, CPU cores, memory, screen resolution, time zone, language, battery status, audio, storage features. Bleeping computer independently confirmed script with randomized file name checking extension ID. Script previously detected 2,000 extensions, 2,025, grew to 3,000, February 2026, now 6,236. Extensions scanned include LinkedIn competitors, Apollo, Lusha, ZoomInfo, Grammar Tools, Tax Professional Tools. LinkedIn claims detection used to protect platform, identify scraping violations, inform technical defenses, not to infer sensitive information about members. Technique can build unique browser profiles enabling cross-site tracking. Source: Bleeping Computer. Hims and her Zendesk data breach telehealth company, nearly $1 billion annual revenue, suffered February 27, 2026 breach after Zendesk support tickets stolen. Shiny hunters compromised Okta SSO accounts to access Hims and her Zendesk instance, stole millions of support tickets. Exposed data includes names, contact information, other unspecified support request data. No medical records or doctor communications compromised. Company detected suspicious activity February 5, determined unauthorized access March 3. Offering 12 months free credit monitoring. Action: organizations using Zendesk should review Okta SSO security, enable MFA. Recent high-profile Zendesk breaches include Mono, February, and Crunchyroll, March. SAS platform compromise via SSO is active threat vector. Source: Bleeping Computer. Next section, Windows/Active Directory security. TA-416 targets European governments with PlugX and OAuth-based phishing. China-lined TA-416 overlaps with Dark Peony, Red Delta, Red Lich, SmugX, UNC 6384, Vertigo Panda. Targets European government and diplomatic organizations since mid-2025 after 2-year minimal European activity. Multiple waves of web bug and malware delivery campaigns against EU and NATO diplomatic missions. December 2025, attacks leveraged third-party Microsoft Entra ID cloud applications for OAuth redirects. Phishing emails contain link to Microsoft's legitimate OAuth authorization endpoint. Clicking redirects to attacker domain deploys PlugX. February 2026 campaigns link to archives on Google Drive or compromise SharePoint with legitimate Microsoft MS-Build executable and malicious C# project file. MS-Build searches directory for project file, automatically builds it. CSproj file decodes base 64 encoded URLs, fetches DLL, dynamic link library, side-loading triad, executes PlugX. Middle East campaigns target diplomatic and government entities following U.S.-Israel-Iran conflict, late February 2026. Action: block OAuth URL redirection mechanisms abusing Microsoft Entra ID. Monitor for MS-Build execution with untrusted CSproj files. Review SharePoint instances for compromise. PlugX uses DLL sideloading for execution. Microsoft warned of phishing campaigns using OAuth URL redirection targeting government and public sector organizations. Source: The Hacker News. TrueConf 0-Day exploited in Asian government attacks Chinese threat actor exploited video conferencing platform 0-Day to perform reconnaissance, escalate privileges, execute additional payloads targeting Asian government entities. Source: Security Week. Next section, General Security News. CIS a budget cut. Trump proposes $707 reduction. Trump's fiscal 2027 budget proposes cutting CIS by $707 million. Agency already lost millions in funding and close to 1,000 employees, about 1/3 of workforce, during Trump's first year of second term. Fiscal 2026 budget proposed $491 million cut. Congress approved $135 million reduction. Proposal claims CIS more focused on censorship than on protecting the nation's critical systems. Plan eliminates offices duplicative of state and federal programs, school safety, programs focused on misinformation and propaganda, external engagement offices, council management, stakeholder engagement, international affairs. Many programs already axed. Cyber Safety Review Board, Investigating Salt Typhoon, Advisory Committees, AI Safety and Security Board, Critical Infrastructure Partnership Advisory Council, National Security Telecommunications Advisory Committee, National Infrastructure Advisory Council, Secret Service Cyber Investigations Advisory Board. March 2025, cut $10 million, nearly half budget, from multi-state ISAC. 6 months later, cut ties and funding for Center for Internet Security. Former CISA official, this would weaken the system for managing cyber risk, increasing the likelihood that preventable incidents escalate into disruptions. Source: The Register. Infinity Stealer targets Mac OS via ClickFix Malwarebytes, reports Infinity Stealer malware targeting Mac users via social engineering. ClickFix tactic presence, fake Cloudflare human verification, CAPTCHA on phishing email or compromised page. User instructed to open terminal app via Spotlight, paste provided code, hit return. Code delivers Infinity Stealer to Mac. Malware difficult to detect once payload delivered. Action: train users to never paste code into terminal from websites. Click fix exploits trust in CAPTCHA verification. Legitimate security tools never require terminal commands. Source, data breaches. Net. Drift Protocol $285 M exploit shows North Korea indicators elliptic reports $285 million exploit of Solana-based Drift Protocol shows multiple indicators associated with North Korea state-sponsored hacking groups based on on-chain behavior. Laundering patterns, network-level signals. Largest crypto exploit in 2026. Drift token fell 40% plus following incident. If confirmed, would be 18th North Korea act tracked by Elliptic this year, over $300 million stolen so far in 2026. Source, data breaches. Net. Amazon Bedrock, multi-agent applications, prompt injection risk. Palo Alto Networks, Unit 42 Red Team research demonstrates prompt injection vulnerabilities in Amazon Bedrock agents multi-agent collaboration, supervisor and supervisor with routing modes. Attack chain, determine operating mode, discover collaborator agents, deliver attacker payloads, execute malicious actions. Exploits included disclosing agent instructions and tool schemas, invoking tools with attacker-supplied inputs. No vulnerabilities in Amazon Bedrock itself. Bedrock's built-in prompt attack guardrail stopped attacks when properly configured. LLMs cannot reliably differentiate between developer instructions and adversarial user input. Any agent processing untrusted text remains potentially vulnerable. Action. Enable Bedrock prompt attack guardrails. Multi-agent systems expand attack surface through interagent communication. Prompt injection remains fundamental LLM security challenge. Source, Unit 42. Next section, patch priority. Trivi Scanner, CVE 2026-33634. Critical, CIS a KEV deadline April 9, EPSS 96th percentile. European Commission and Sportradar breaches confirm active exploitation with high-value credential theft. Axios NPM package. Critical, downgrade to 1.14.0 or 0.30.3 immediately. Versions 1.14.1 and 0.30.4 contain North Korean Trojan reaching 100 million weekly downloads. Light LLM PyPy package. CVE 2026-5281. Hi. CIS a KEV deadline April 15, EPSS 87th percentile. Check for infections from AI coding assistants with unrestricted permissions. Microsoft Exchange Online. Medium, mailbox access issues affecting Outlook Mobile and Mac OS users intermittently since March 11. Microsoft investigating root cause, restarted notification broker service. Apple iOS 18 Darksword. Medium, Apple broke precedent by patching older iOS version. Protects organizations with users unable to adopt iOS 26 from severe mobile OS cracking tool. Next section, vulnerability disclosures. Critical share file flaws lead to unauthenticated remote code execution vulnerabilities can be chained to bypass authentication and upload arbitrary files to server for unauthenticated remote code execution. Action. Patch share file immediately. Unauthenticated RCE is critical severity, likely to see exploitation quickly. Source, Security Week. Apple patches Darksword for iOS 18. Apple broke precedent by patching older iOS version. Organizations with users unwilling or unable to adopt iOS 26 can now protect against severe mobile OS cracking tool. Source, Dark Reading. Next section, healthcare breaches. Nacogdoches Memorial Hospital data breached. Texas hospital notified 257,073 after January 15, 2026 breach. Staff became aware January 31. Exposed data. Name, address, phone, email, SSN, DOB, medical record number, account number, health plan beneficiary number, possible full face photograph. Incident not yet on HHS public breach tool. Unclear if 257,073 refers to patients only or patients and employees. Source, data breaches. Net. BQT lock threatens Metro Hospital USA ransomware group claims 355 terabytes sensitive medical files, 123,458 patient records, scripts, radiology, EC, MRI, ultrasound, blood work, complete email archives, Sonic Wall VPN access credentials, network infrastructure information, internal backups, payment status, unpaid 400 XMR demanded via private negotiation. Group states decryption key and deletion of stolen data available upon ransom fulfillment. Deadline strict. Action. Healthcare entities should review Sonic Wall VPN security. Claim includes VPN credentials, suggesting initial access vector. 3 terabytes exfiltration indicates mission-critical systems compromised. Source, ransom look. Next section, trends and context. Supply chain compromises dominate this cycle, with Team PCP's Trivy breach reaching European Commission AWS, 340 gigabytes theft, 5-day dwell time. North Korean UNC 1069, social engineering of Axios maintainer deploying Trojan to 100 million weekly downloads. Light LLM PyPy compromise. 2 critical themes. Credential theft from security tools creates high-value access. European Commission took 5 days to detect AWS key usage. And sophisticated social engineering bypasses technical controls. Fake Microsoft Teams calls, cloned Slack workspaces. IOCs deadlines, April 9. For CVE 2026-33634, April 15, for CVE 2026-5281, create patching urgency. Healthcare sector remains high-value ransomware target with average $18.2 million initial demands and operational disruption. Canceling chemotherapy, postponing surgeries. Payment motivation shift shows 43% now pay primarily to prevent data publication vs 31% for decryptors, reversing the 2024 trend. That concludes today's cyber threat brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay patched, stay vigilant.